As many of you people know, I am a diehard Penguins fan, and I like to support all the other teams around it. I mean, everybody knows the awkwardness of me that I'm a Penguins fan, and I do support these guys behind me being Pirates fan. Love watching them play on and off when they're actually doing well. Gone to a couple of games when I was younger at the old Three River Stadium, and have been to PNC. And yes, it is one of the most gorgeous ballparks in America. Period. But everybody and most people that I know like to have a nice little conundrum and discussion about this guy. This guy. This guy right here. And in this video, I am going to go ham on this guy. Let's go. We welcome you back. It is so good to have you with us as I get myself situated. And this video is definitely going to be a little bit of a vent, but it's going to be a little bit fun to do because who would not ever want to take a couple minutes out of their time to vent about this guy? Exactly. And anytime you have ever come on to this channel to Jimmy Jam Sessions, truly, it is remarkable, and we do appreciate you. There's that thing called a subscribe button. You definitely want to hit that if you want to be alerted with new stuff coming out. Doesn't matter what we do on this channel. 1 year, we are still racking it in, doing what we love to do, and as always, we appreciate you. Now then, on this simplified video, how do you know that I am not in the greatest of moods, but I know this is going to be fun? I get to vent about this guy. In case you guys don't know, that's Bob Nutting. Who I like to call Bob. He's the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, the Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the most liked teams in the entire Major League Baseball. They're also one of the more, unfortunately, unlucky and unsuccessful franchises because of Bob. And I'll probably be doing that a handful of times in this. So let's just put into a little bit of perspective. First of all, do you know that he's the 10th biggest owner, the 10th richest owner in baseball is Bob Nutting? People think Pittsburgh's poor and they're like a small payroll? No. This guy is the 10th richest owner in baseball. And he's also, in case people don't know where he got his money, he got it from newspapers, Ogden newspaper organization. He has newspapers, online newspapers in about 12 states. So that's where he gets his money. He's not a tech guy from Silicon Valley. He's actually a West Virginia guy, and he also owns a handful of ski resorts, including Seven Springs, which I think he also is trying to sell. People don't know he owns Seven Springs. He owns Seven Springs. He also did Hidden Valley, Laurel Mountain, right around 120 mil. That's where he's getting all of his money. So there should be no necessary reason why the Pittsburgh Pirates cannot spend, because he has all this money and have some resources and be like, you know what, I'm going to spend, and we're going to try to be the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, the Astros, the Phillies, but not that guy. You see, this guy, Bob, does not like to spend money. This guy has been wanted by many people in Major League Baseball to just want to. He has this idea of, I want to win a World Series the right way. I want to win it with my farm team. I want to win it with homegrown talent from the bottom up, from the single A all the way to triple A, and have them come to the Pirates so we can win World Series in the future. That is not the way the business is run. We are in 2024. We don't do that anymore. And teams like the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, the Astros, and most recently, even Texas last year, who has a high-end payroll, they went out and spent to try to win pennants and games and get into the playoffs. That is a stepping stone to get to the next piece. That guy does not know how to do that. He wants to, every time things go bad, he does the eventual fire sale and gets rid of all the great people. And he's done that numerous times, even with Andrew McCutchen on there, where he traded him to the Giants. Now, that fortunately ended up working out because they got Brian Reynolds in that return. And let's just say, for example, this guy, Bob, which we like to call him, um, he got Brian Reynolds to sign a multi-year extension to stay, and he's a huge piece. He got Andrew McCutchen to stay one more year. I don't know if he's going to do it another. He got key pieces like a Key Brian Hayes. He got Mitch Keller to sign. Now we got to get O'Neal Cruz, but we like his bat, but his errors have been hit and miss. But then we get to this. Remember, guys, you have to go back to find this picture of this kid. This, God bless, this kid is going to be working, is going to be making 8 figures when he grows up because he has the sell the team T-shirt, and Bob does not know necessarily what to say about that. And I guarantee you, he probably went to his public PR people and be like, he probably said a lot of bad words. So in any case, we just go back to good old Bob. And I want to that's just the fact that he just doesn't want to spend. And I guarantee you this, I'm going to hold myself to this. And I guarantee you probably about 95% of Pirate fans know deep down in their heart of hearts that when the time comes for that rookie sensation pitcher, Paul Skeens, to get his money, that guy, Bob, is not going to pay Paul Skeens $500 million for 7 years. He's not going to give him Garrett. He's not going to give him Garrett Cole money. He will never do it. Why do you think Garrett Cole went and won a World Series in Houston and took $450 million for the Yankees? So, in a sense, we know how this story goes. The Pirates will start doing well, then everybody has a fall down and has a downward spiral, and then they come back up because baseball is so long. It's 162 games. Some people say it's too long. Some people say the postseason should be expanded and the regular season should be shortened. But in essence, there's only 30 teams. There's going to be 32 and probably more as we get on all the way to 2030. But that guy does not want to spend money. He never had the heart to spend money. And probably deep down, he has a guy that tries to do whatever he wants to do. Right now, he doesn't have that. He has a guy named Ben Sherrington, who is the general manager of the Pirates, and he has done extremely well keeping the key pieces to Pittsburgh. And right now, Pirates have a pretty good pitching staff, and they've needed one for a while with Skeens and with Jones and with Keller and a handful of others. They have a good pitching. They actually have a nice core right now. They've been trying to find that core for a while, even a couple of years where they had the core, and even last year. I mean, let's just be completely honest about everything. Last year was a 14-game improvement. If you'd like to know about how things go in Pittsburgh, I can guarantee you, I'm just going to read off since 2013. 2013 to 2015 was those big playoff years. They haven't gone to the playoffs in 20 some years. They went from like 57, 72, 79 wins to, in order from 13 to 15, 94, 88, and 98. And 98 is the closest they've ever been to 100 wins in entire franchise's history. And what happened in 98 and what happened in 2015? They got robbed by the Chicago Cubs and destiny, because that was the Chicago Cubs World Series. So the following year, they were in contention and they were just hit by the injury bug, and they went 78 wins. And then the downward spiral started again to 75. They had a winning season in 82 in which they had that big conundrum about revenue sharing with the big high market teams are allowed to filter to help out these smaller market teams. But where does that money go? Does that money go into the payroll, or does that money go to Bob Nutting's pocket? We don't know, because it started going back down the road and down that downward spiral to 69 wins. And then we get to the COVID year where there was 60 wins, 60 games. It was a sprint. And that was the new manager, Derek Shelton's first year. And that was like, okay, it's 60 wins. It's a sprint. We have a good start. We can have this. They were 4-14. They were already out in 2 weeks. So they finished at 19-41, 61 and 101, 62 and 100. Then they got back up big time to 76 and 86, which was last season. And right now, they are contending hard to try to get at least to a wild card, but it's probably not going to suffice to anything because there's too many teams in the National League that already have the wild card area covered, and it's going to be a little too late for the Pirates because they just recently had a 10-game losing streak. So, um, why do I want to bring? Why do I sincerely need to keep bringing Bob back up? Because, well, he just doesn't want to spend. We're now in a conundrum and another big thing where he's going to want to get rid of all these players and start all over again. And I'm telling you right now, the world of the Pirates just seems like it's a big merry-go-round because this guy does not want to sell the team. There's been people from the Steelers organization, the Penguins organization, even Pat McAfee himself, even on his own show, said he would put a couple investors and would buy the team and would start being a big haul as close to what the Phillies do. And in case you're wondering how the Pirates are, how are the Pirates? They're the second lowest payroll in baseball, in front of Oakland. And what is it? I'm trying to buy it at right now. About 80, if I round it up, 85 million. There's always that thing about no small market teams, no small payroll teams win the World Series. Kansas City, if I look in here, the Kansas City, where's the Kansas City Royals? Where are the Royals? Where are the Royals? The Royals are 20th. So they're technically in the middle part. But a handful of years ago when the Royals won the World Series, they won the World Series with small ball and a bullpen. And Pittsburgh can't get any luck, can't get anything out of it. They can't get the lightning in a bottle that Cincinnati has with the De La Cruz kid. The funny thing is Oakland is actually better this year, and they're moving to Vegas. But first they're going to stop at Sacramento for a handful of years. And then we know the White Sox are the White Sox. And the White Sox have an 8. And you think how bad the White Sox are this season? The White Sox, they're 134 million in their payroll, and they only have 20-some plus wins. So I don't know how basically the Pirates usually do in this type of matter. Like I still remember watching a handful of years ago in the 2013, 14, 15. That was the run of their playoffs. The closest they have gotten was 2013, in which they were one game away from going to the NLCS. And they got beat by the Cardinals by an unknown nerd named Michael Wacha, who struck out 10. And they won 2-1 that night. The following game, in Game 5, the Pirates lost 6-1 to Adam Wainwright, and Garrett Cole was their pitcher. And Garrett Cole's like, you'll love Pittsburgh. Why do you think Garrett Cole left for $450 million? But Garrett Cole has a ring. Anyway, the following year, they get to that postseason again. They get the wild card, and they get the living bejesus beat out of them. 8-0 by Madison Bumgarner and the Giants. The following year, they got beat by the Cubs and Jake Arrieta, and there was a bunch of calls that were going Chicago's favor that entire night. And since then, that magic has not returned. Right now, they have an absolute beast of a core, but they have no bullpen, and their hitting is hit and miss. Like, there's one night, you have one game where they just get obliterated 7-1. The very next day, they'll crack 7 homers. It's just timely hitting, and I get it. Baseball is the hardest sport probably in all of the world, but they are just in that sense of, why can't we be as lucky or as fortunate as some of the other mid teams? Like Minnesota is good, and they're in the middle part of the payroll. Kansas City's not bad this year. They're in the middle of payroll. but your normal the normality is your Mets, your Yankees, your Dodgers. The Mets have the biggest payroll. The Dodgers have the biggest TV deal, and the Phillies are more international, and they also probably have the best baseball atmosphere next to LA, next to Atlanta, next to Chicago, right in that area. So um, I really have bad things. I know I probably messed this video up a little bit, but it's just frustrating as a Pirates fan. We want to see success, but I'm really sorry. But and I'm messing around with my stuff here. But yeah, this guy drives me up a wall. And I have a feeling he's going to fire everybody at the end of the season because of an 8-game losing streak. And I didn't want to make this video too long because we as Pirates fans, we want to see success. How many people? I mean, I even remember putting out a picture of me playing MLB The Show and got the Pirates to a World Series, but I had to create a bunch of players, so it's hard. Baseball is hard. Hardest thing to do in the entire world of sports is hit a baseball, but it's hard enough to know when you have a good team and you can't do a whole heck of a lot because this guy Bob is just not making things any better. He's probably going to fire Derek Shelton, and probably would not surprise me if he fired the GM too, because the GM made some moves at the trade deadline, actually made some buying moves at the deadline, and none of them worked. So it would not surprise me if the Pirates ended up starting all over again. But this guy does not want to spend money. You want a core, you have to. I mean, I get the bit. You have to spend money to make money, but this guy is not helping out matters any way, shape, or form in Major League Baseball. I need to stop this event because I'm looking at my thing and I did not want to make this thing too long. It's my editor is probably going to be messing this whole thing up and they're trying to combine it, which is fine. You made it to the end of this video. I do appreciate you. Thumbs up, throw a comment in. How much do you hate Bob Nutting and how much do you wish the Pirates would actually do well? Because you hate seeing the norm. You hate seeing the Dodgers and you hate seeing Milwaukee and the Mets and the Braves and the Phillies. They're always going to be up there, always going to be up top. And your comments are welcome. I'm going to shut the bar down, and I hope my editor can trim half of this video up because of this guy. The bar is closed. Hit that like, subscribe button so I can see you back here next time. And yeah, this guy, I've seen enough. Goodbye, God bless, and